What's up, everybody? You're very welcome to Monday Light to Late Night Agenda. Apologies for the delay, but I was having lighting issues, believe it or not, so I couldn't get the green screen to work properly. But I'm here now. I do apologise for the late start. We've loads to get through. I'll go through the team selection that I picked for tomorrow night. We'll go through your predicted scores. We'll go through everything NFC related. It's another not really a must-win game, but it's a must-not-lose game tomorrow night against Salzburg. Just a reminder to everybody that it's an early kick-off tomorrow. It's a 5:55pm kick-off. I hope you're all keeping well. Craig polishing his red and white throne. No, I wish, mate. Just fucking about with light and trying to make sure everything's alright. I don't have hamsters, John. I'm allergic to them, mate, so no hamsters in my gaff. Roberto, how are you, sir? John Irwin, how are you? Big man Steve, Cormac, Slattery, and everybody else in the chat. How are we doing tonight? How we feel ahead of that game tomorrow? Arsenal just after coming back from 1-0 down there to pick up a win at West Ham. Fair play to them. Craig's first predicted lineup had 2 Trents and no Van Dijk, and that's not even a joke. He is right. Usually I say hashtag blame Connor, but he's right. On this occasion I did send him my first predicted lineup. I had Lovren in there instead of Van Dijk and 2 Trents. There you go. What's up, Honey Bunny? How are you? Brian Morrissey, how are you, sir? Strong hoodie game. Thank you, mate. I try my best to jazz it up every now and again. But look, ladies and gents, I'm not going to fuck about tonight. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. Let's get straight into this. The good news to start off the stream is that Dejan Lovren and Adam Lallana have both trained ahead of the game against Salzburg tomorrow, which is really, really good to hear. Whether Dejan Lovren starts or not, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. You can see from my team selection that I've given him a rest. I know it's a difficult one to go over there, but I've given him a rest just to not make sure that he plays, with an injury, and he went off with a hamstring, or what looked like a hamstring, and I'd rather he rested. I know it's a massive game. I know he's playing really well. I think he's been brilliant, actually, lately, but we're already threadbare when it comes to centre-backs, and I watched young Nat Phillips playing for Stuttgart tonight, and he actually looked quite good in that game for them. So, yeah, good to see him going over there and getting some minutes under his belt as well. United fan said, I'm happy we beat City but gave you 2 hands on the title. See, this is kind of what annoys me, and Mark said the same to me. You beating Manchester City didn't really give us anything on the title, mate. The fact that we've won 15 games and drawn 1 from 16 pretty much is what's given us the hands on the title. I don't like United fans feeling like that they've played any part at all in Liverpool maybe gone on to win the Premier League title. Let's be very clear about this to any United fans watching. Respect to you all, thank you for joining, but it's Liverpool's reason. The reason we're going to win this league, or might win this league, is because of Liverpool, because of Jurgen Klopp and those players, because they've won 15 games from 16 so far, because they look absolutely fucking mustard. And you getting a win over Manchester City is great. It did help our cause a little bit, but it didn't give us the hands on the title like some United fans are claiming. But yeah, how are we, sir? Great to see you in. I was talking to Anthony earlier on. Obviously, fantastic result for them as well against Aston Villa away. Keeps the pressure on us, and it's good to be in a title race with such a nice club. It really, really is. Genuinely mean that. Obviously, I want us to beat you out, and I don't want you to come too close, but I do have a lot of respect for Leicester City, and I have to say their away fans that travelled to the Villa game were absolutely magnificent. They really were. Is that my Minions onesie, said Wobbly Banana. No, my son is a Minions onesie. No, this is just, I think it's from H&M, I think it is, if my memory's right. Do I prefer Chamberlain over Keita? It depends on the game. I don't really prefer anybody over anybody, if you get where I'm coming from. I try and take an 11 to suit a particular game, and I love them both very much. Right, let's go through my predicted lineup anyway. We'll start from there, see how you guys are feeling, and yeah, we'll see if you make any changes or not. So what I've gone with is Alisson in goal, Andy Robertson at left back, obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. I've brought in Gomez just because I'm worried that if Lovren plays and tweaks the hamstring or whatever it was again, then we'd be fucked basically for quite a while with not having Matip. So I've gone for Joe Gomez alongside Virgil van Dijk. Midfield is obviously the most difficult trio to pick. For this game, knowing that Gini Wijnaldum looks good and ready to go, and he's been back training as well, I've gone for Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum and Naby Keita. Because 1, he's used to playing, he knows how Salzburg play, he played there. 2, he played really well the other day. And 3, I just fucking love Naby Keita, and I want to get him into the team wherever I can. So I've gone, as I said, for Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum and Naby Keita. And then the front 3, you don't mess about with the front 3. If they're both fit and ready, or if there are 3 of them are fit, and ready to play, you just put them in there. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's an absolute gimme that those 3 start. So midfield, I suppose we can nitpick, and then maybe the centre back option, whether you guys would like Dejan Lovren or whether you think Joe Gomez is the right one. Matip isn't ready yet, a few weeks away yet, as Pat Moynihan has pointed out. Katie deserves to start. He played well in the weekend, said Shanzo the man. He played really well at the weekend. I thought himself and Jordan Henderson were exquisite in that Liverpool midfield. Sam Thompson said it'll either be a heart attack 1-2 or a high scoring draw. Well, my prediction, as you see, I've gone for a 3-1 win for Liverpool. And again, that's not to be disrespectful to Salzburg, who are a very good side, but let's be frank about this. We should be going over to clubs like Salzburg and looking to pick up a victory. We are the champions of Europe. We are the ones that are polished in European football. And Salzburg have a good young team. Make no bones about it. Haaland looks like an absolutely quality player. Their manager looks really up for it as well. And I'm sure you guys seen the team talk that he gave ahead of the game at Anfield before. I just think we should be going over there to get the job done. Simple as that. If you can go to Bayern Munich in the Champions League knockout stage last season and score 3 over there, then I think we should be looking to go to the likes of Salzburg and pick up a win. And I know we only need a point technically to go through, but Christ, you can never go and try and play for a draw. It's too dodgy, and I don't think it's in this team's makeup to go somewhere and try and play for a draw. So I've gone for a 3-1 win for the Reds. You can see my starting 11. Of course, this is your show, so I'd love to know what you guys think. And again, I'm just going to shout out another reminder. It's a 5:55 p.m. kickoff. Bagsy said, I might bring in Milner instead of Wijnaldum or Naby just because Salzburg won't worry me. Or just because Salzburg do worry me. Excuse me, Bagsy, mate. I messed up your comment. Yeah, I mean, James Milner, I'll never have any negatives to say around James Milner when he plays a game of football because he's brilliant. But I don't like a midfield of Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner. For me, it just makes me nervous. I know it is a tried and trusted midfield trio that served us well, but I don't like it. It's not something that I'm fond of, but whatever happens, Jurgen Klopp will pick the 11 that he thinks can go there and do a job. And who the hell am I to sit here and even attempt to question Jurgen Norbert Klopp? I'm not going to do it. Sam Thompson said, we've been playing well recently, so I think we'll go through. Yeah, it is scary to comprehend to sit here and think that tomorrow night at 8 o'clock we could potentially be knocked out of the Champions League and into the Europa League, and nobody wants to be in the Europa League. I mean, I think from the Liverpool fans I've spoken to, they almost prefer no European football to drop down into the Europa League. But yeah, that's the position we're in. We got to go over there tomorrow, get at least a point, or lose 4-3 or upwards in that case, because they came over obviously to Anfield, got a 4-3 result. If you had to reverse that, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm predicting a shit ton of goals. I'm sure everybody is, and these are the ones that probably end up a big boring 0-0 draw. But yeah, both these teams like to score. Both these teams like to attack. Again, I'll hand it over to you guys now, see how you're feeling. Subi said, Craig, with all due respect, it's only Salzburg. I suppose I get where you're coming from, and I've said similar myself earlier on in the stream, but we got to be respectful, but we got to go over there and play with confidence as well, to know that, you know, we're the ones in pole position here. They're the ones that need a result from this game. We can get a draw and go through. Amusing Assassin said 2-2. I want to win, but Haaland is on fire. I don't know if our back can handle his pace and intensity. We should be. I mean, let's not forget, we do have the best defender in world football in Virgil van Dijk. So if anybody knows what to do, if anybody can see us through this game, it should be him tomorrow. Looking forward to a great game tomorrow. 3-0. Glenn Macon's going for Gerbert Klopp. Yeah, mate, this head cold is just screwing with me completely. I just can't shake it, and my mind's all over the place at times. Yeah, Glenn's looking forward to the game tomorrow. He's going for a 3-0 win. That would be nice, mate, but I can't see them not scoring. I mean, they're at home and they have a good record at home. They like to pour forward at home. The crowd's going to be right behind them. I think they're going to score. I mean, our defence hasn't been rock steady lately as well. I know we kept a clean sheet at the weekend, but yeah, I mean, I think I've got to give them a goal at home at least. Andrew Childerho said, I think we'll win this game 3-1. Samuel said, I like Milner coming off the bench to fill in as needed, which is a good point. Bagsy said, Craig, if we do go on the Europa League, at least we can destroy United. Yeah, look, there is, I'm not going to say a benefit to going into the Europa League, because, you know, that's plainly not the case. But if you do go into the Europa League, then maybe you look at the likes of maybe Ryan Brewster, who you're going to send out on loan. Maybe you give him the Europa League. Maybe you give Harvey Elliott the Europa League, and the younger players a chance to prove themselves. But look, we don't want to be thinking about this. We want to be thinking about going through to the knockout stages. Gunjeet, how are you, my friend? Said, I think Salzburg have a very shaky defence. Liverpool, we only need to defend well and our attack will do the job. I agree. Lee has gone for a 4-2 win to Liverpool. Welcome, Lee. Great to see you win again, mate. Quick shout out to Sinead and Dave Sweeney. Dave sent me another image of himself and his young daughter in Tesco, and Sinead, looking after us, sitting on there on the trays of Diet Coke with the Kios in her hand. Well done, Sinead. Very proud of you, my dear. Boya has gone for a 3-2 goal fest, hopefully. It would, I want to top the group as well, just because I don't like finishing below Napoli. I don't like Napoli. Love them as how am I going to phrase this? I love watching them play football. I think they're a really good side to watch, but the shithousery and the bitching and the moaning from them, I couldn't be arsed with it. So it'd be nice to finish the group on top, although, look, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Nobody's going to want to draw Liverpool in the next round. Nobody. Shando said, I think tomorrow will be okay. We'll play our best football of the season. 5-0 with a Salah hat-trick. I like that. I like your thinking. Red Tick Game and said, hi Craig, how you doing? I'd like to say this game won't be easy. It'll be difficult. Salzburg are on top form. Scored 3 goals at Anfield. Wonder how that will turn out tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. Now, to be fair, we switched off a little bit at Anfield to let them back in. We were absolutely battering them, and then we switched off and allowed them back in. But I get where you're coming from. They are at home. They know what they've got to do. They've got to go out there and win that game tomorrow. And that could well play into our hands. I think the old cliche, the first goal in this game could be really important. If Liverpool get it, then we can kind of sit back and soak up a little bit, allow them to come on to us, and then just ping them on the counter-attack. Long diagonal balls either side. So quick start tomorrow is vital, and they're going to come out of the blocks 100 miles an hour. And I've no doubt that Jurgen Klopp will have these guys focused and ready to go. Hendo as well in the dressing room will make sure everybody is up for this game. And look, it's enjoyable. We never do things the easy way, do we, as a football club? But I'm sure the guys will get what they need tomorrow and will be into the last 16. But it's a job that needs to be done. Callum's gone for a 4-2 win for Liverpool. Up the Reds has gone 2-1 to the Reds. Do you think we have the best fullbacks in the Premier League? Yes. In the world? Maybe, potentially. We will do. If they aren't now, then they will be in 2 years, Alex, mate, when they get even more experience under their belt. It's scary to think how good Trent is, and as a 21-year-old fella, it's nuts. Shea Trainer reckons we'll win 3-2 tomorrow. I'm using Assassin. I can't think of anyone but Haaland to score for Salzburg. I can't think of the dude's name. I can't think of his name. They do have another threat, but my mind's gone blank. Apologies. Benjamin said, we need to win, and I don't want to play a big club in the last 16. Well, probably, to be fair, when you get to the last 16, there's usually maybe 1 or 2 handy ties, but the rest are decent sides. And if you were to look at the likes of Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid's group, Real Madrid, I think, are going to be second in that group. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind getting Real Madrid over 2 legs. Champions League equals a hot date to the Musing Assassin. It's so refreshing to watch your streams. Keep up the good work, mate. To Deshi Models, thank you. Really appreciate that. I apologise if I'm not myself today. I'm still getting over this damn head cold, and my head feels really cloudy at times. So if I fuck up a few things today, bear with me. Salzburg 2, Liverpool 5. Samuel. That's what he's gone for. Genie LFC said, I see it being a high scoring game. It's in our hands. Oh, one quick thing, sorry, before we move on. We have turned ads back on for a few months on the channel because it's coming up to Christmas, and we want to do some bits and pieces, and it's an expensive time as well, and we want to get some ad revenue in to just keep the channel ticking along for a few months. So again, just to give you guys a heads up on that, we did turn ads back on the channel, so bear with us. Feel free to click off them if you don't want to watch them, but we had to turn them back on for a little while. Dave Sweeney said, Craig, you keep getting cuties. What's this, cuties from Sabrina? What do you get when you kiss a girl? Enough germs to... Or cooties to get them on. It's just gone around me gaff, mate. It's if I'm not sick, my son's sick, or my daughter's sick, or my wife's sick, and it's just going around in a circle, and this flu or cold just won't go away. Dylan said, do you think we should start Origi and rest one of the front 3? He thinks yes. I honestly wouldn't mind it, Dylan. If Divock Origi comes in, I've every faith in the man. I just wouldn't look to be resting one of the front 3 for this particular game. Against Watford at the weekend, by all means, start Divock Origi, no problem with that whatsoever. It's a 12:30pm kickoff, by the way, on Saturday for the Watford game, so an early one. But Minamoto, that's the gentleman I'm trying to think of. Stephen Booker, thank you, sir. Mo Salah to score 2-0, and 2-0 is Ahmed's prediction. What do you actually do if we drop into the Europa League? Again, as I touched on earlier on, official BXLXL, I would look to just give the youngsters a run out. I mean, it's not ideal. Nobody wants to go and play in the Europa League, but if we, heaven forbid, did end up in there, then, give Queeveen Kelleher some games, give Ryan Brewster some games, give Curtis Jones some games, give Seth Vandenberg some games, Kiana Hoover some games, Harvey Elliott some games, Yeah, whoever needs minutes, just give them some games and give them that experience of European football. It's not ideal, but if it's the worst case scenario, then yeah, you got to make the most of it. The Cop Council, Conor Nisbet, how are you, sir? Said, hey, Craig and everybody in the chat, I'm going with you, Craig. 3-1 to the Reds. We need to go there and not go for a draw. Score tomorrow. Shows it just down the top corner, Kieran, mate. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Liverpool, but could be anything. This one could be 2-2, could be 4-2, could be a million and one. I don't know. What's this? Somebody said something about the ads there. It's alright, mate. Play 100 ads. I'll watch them. Nothing wrong and help on a genuine channel. Thank you, mate. I do appreciate that. Yeah, we try and keep all the money shit to a minimum. Like, we don't do gaming links. We don't do any of that stuff. We don't bring in sponsors really that often. So, yeah, we're just trying to keep ticking over. And with it being December, it's the busiest month, and we'd be fools not to have them switched on, to be fair, for this month, because yeah, it gets really, really quiet from February onwards. So we just decided for a couple of months we'll turn it back on anyway and see how we get on. Apple Gaming, how are you, sir? Welcome in. And Liz said, I only got ads on replays. There you go. Well, hopefully, look, they kept to a minimum, fingers crossed. Ladies and gents, though, if you are enjoying the stream, do hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and keep your comments coming thick and fast. As you can see, we've hit 28,500, so thank you guys so much for that. 1,500 to go, and we hope to get there before the end of December, so fingers crossed. Jurgen Klopp's going 1-1, Origi last-minute equaliser. And Dev said, was the 12:30 Watford kickoff always at that time, or was it brought forward? No, I think for the last while anyway, when the TV fixtures were announced, mate, this was the early one, so it'll be on BT, I think, on Saturday. Club World Cup or the Champions League? Oh, that's a difficult one, mate. I mean, I love the European Cup, but we've never won the Club World Cup. I mean, the Champions League, I suppose it's a more important trophy. I'd go Champions League, even though I do want the Club World Cup. You got a Champions League. I mean, the European Cup in the bank is nice, isn't it? Number 7 will be pretty damn good. Experience tells us 1-0 win at the 92nd minute tomorrow. Heart attack time, said Wobbly Banana. Using Assassin said, I don't mind watching Shadow Legends for the 300th time. It's part of the YouTube experience. Thank you, mate. You're a gent. Roberto said, or RBCom said, I'd be scared if we got Liverpool in the last 16. Really scared. It would be a good game, mate. It'd be very interesting over 2 legs. Two very good sides, and I wouldn't be wanting to get Juventus. I mean, I think there's easier ties we could get than that. Shea Trainer said, who would you like to play in the knockout stages? I wouldn't mind playing Real Madrid, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think we'd be up for it. I think we owe them one, and they're not that great at the minute. So yeah, I wouldn't mind playing Madrid at all. The knockout stages don't start, though, if my memory's correct, until February. Scotty, thank you. Just letting us know that it is on BT. Connor reckons Champions League all the way with regards to Champions League or the World Club Cup. Something else I wanted to say. Oh, yes. So, John Bishop is hosting a comedy night at the M&S Bank Arena on Sunday, March the 15th to raise money for the Sean Cox Rehabilitation Fund. Other comics on the night will be Joe Brand, Jason Manford, Joe Caulfield, Andrew Maxwell, Neil Fitzmaurice, Adam Rowe and Paul Smith are all going to join John Bishop on stage on the night. So look, if you're around the area, even if it's a drive up and you want to spend a nice weekend in Liverpool, keep Sunday, March 15th free in your calendar, because as I said, one, look at the comedians. They're absolutely amazing. If you want to have a link to tickets or anything, you can check out the Anfield Agenda Twitter account, and we've got it tweeted out there. You can go to the official Liverpool account as well. They have a link where you can buy tickets to the show. It is at the M&S Bank Arena, which is of course the old Echo Arena. What a night that looks like. I wish I could get over to that, honestly. So you've got John Bishop, Joe Brand, Jason Manford, Joe Caulfield, Andrew Maxwell, Neil Fitzmaurice, Adam Rowe and Paul Smith, and maybe a surprise or two along the way as well. But absolutely great, and all money going to the Sean Cox Rehabilitation Fund. So I mean, what a good cause as well. And you get a good night's entertainment full of great comedians, and money goes to a good cause. So well done to everybody concerned there who organised that one. And of course, I love and best wishes got to Sean, Martina and the Cox family. Leon Walters said, the plus side of the busy fixtures is we get to watch the Reds 10 times this month. It is class, mate, isn't it? From a football and fan perspective, and from even our perspective on the channel, mate, doing watch-alongs 2 a week, it feels like I've had one day off, and now here we are the night before another game. It's great, but I can imagine how much of a nightmare it must be for Kloppo. Willow, how are you, Willow? Said Craig, I can see Liverpool scrapping it out for a 1-0 victory. Oh, I don't know. I think this game has goals in it, Willow. Salzburg like to attack, but I'd take the 1-0 if it was on offer. Of course I would. Dylan said, Craig, would you rather win the Premier League 3 seasons in a row or the Champions League, FA Cup and the Carabao Cup 4 seasons in a row? That all depends on when you're offering me this, Dylan. If we can get this Premier League campaign out of the way and put it in the bank, then I will take the Champions League every year forever. That would definitely be my answer, mate. I mean, we got to get this one. So if you can allow me to put one in the bank, then I will take the Champions League, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup 4 seasons in a row, because winning the Champions League 4 seasons in a row, mate, to put us up onto 10, yes please, that would do very nicely indeed. But I really, really want us to get that one Premier League title in the bank, because Christ almighty, 30 years is too long. Sam Thompson says Inter versus Liverpool will be a good tie. I think we battered them, Sam. In all honesty, I've watched Inter a few times this season. They're methodical, but they're slow, predictable. Martinez looks good. I mean, Lukaku looks revitalised there, but I'd much prefer them over Juventus. Joanne said goals for Liverpool, please, and a clean sheet again too. I'd be amazed. I mean, I never put money on in Liverpool game for Liverpool to win and both teams to score, but I'm strongly thinking about that tomorrow, because I think there's going to be probably between 3 and 6 goals in this game tomorrow. And I've probably put the curse on it now, but you know what? If I have put the curse on it, it's a low scoring game. That could still do us, so hopefully it'll be in our favour. Paul Val said, I love 3pm Saturday kickoffs. More exciting to see the scores coming through. Not a fan of this different times and Sunday kickoffs. Keep it all on Saturday at 3pm. Nightmare for us, mate, because in England and Ireland, we got one 3pm kickoff shown on TV in Ireland, but that would mean nobody gets to watch the games on TV because of the way it's done over here. So I'm not a fan of the 12:30pm kickoffs. They always make me nervous. Always make me nervous. The later one on a Saturday at 5:30, I quite like that. I like the 2 on the Sunday, and I like Monday Night Football as well. So the Friday night stuff I'm still getting used to when those games are on. Nobody important said, will Salzburg win the Europa League if we beat them? I mean, it's difficult competition to win, mate, but they are a good side, as I said. But it is a very difficult competition to win. You got the teams dropping in out of the Champions League, and then you've got other good sides around Europe in there as well. So I don't know, they'd be in with a shout. Stephen Booker said, luckily we'll be able to watch the Club World Cup semi-final on my birthday and you'll have the day off. Nice one, mate. Happy days. That is within 24 hours of that game against Villa as well. So yeah, loads of games coming up this month. Do you think there are any teams that are capable of beating us? Said HTL. Yeah, of course. Every team in the Premier League is capable of beating every team in the Premier League at some point. And I don't think we're going to go unbeaten this season. I mean, can we? What's can we? Can we break 100 points? Potentially, yes. I mean, I think it's more feasible that we might break the 100-point mark than go unbeaten. But Christ, what a lovely conversation this is to be having. Craig, have you seen the Mane to PSG rumours? Why on earth would Sadio Mane go to PSG? Honestly, to what? Play in a bullshit French league. Never win the Champions League, because PSG aren't ever going to win the Champions League. If anybody that goes to PSG goes there for one reason and one reason only, and that's money. And Sadio Mane, to me, so far, doesn't seem that motivated by money. He seems motivated by winning stuff, wanting to play at the highest level. And PSG, they'll win the French League every year. Maybe win the Cup as well, but they're not going to win the Champions League anytime soon, and I just think that's a bullshit rumour. I really do. I haven't seen it either, but I think there's nothing to it. What's this one? Keep for the season, give tenure, sell, pick one of each between Oxlade. I don't even know what the fuck that question is. 1,000 subscribers out on the videos. I think there's a big possibility we'll do the Premier League and Champions League double. What a season that would be, said Mario. That would be an unbelievable season, mate. Yeah, oh god, I'd be gloating like fuck if we do that. I wouldn't mind a domestic cup and the Premier League. I mean, Champions League, I mean, we're being greedy here, aren't we? We've been in a final, we've won it, and now we're looking to win it again. But again, it's lovely to be in these conversations, but gotta get through tomorrow night first, and it won't be easy over in Salzburg. Craig, could you wish my gran a happy birthday? Of course, Colin. Happy birthday to your gran. And I hope you look after her, because grans are the matriarch to the family, and they got to be listened to. My gran was definitely like the dawn of our family. So yeah, lots of love to your nan and happy birthday to her. Brian said, I don't want any Italian team to knockout rounds. They're a pain in the hole. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, mate. I do. particularly when it comes to gamesmanship and stuff like that. This is the best season ever. We're soaring and everybody else is sacking their manager, said Brett Dawson. Yeah, it is strange, isn't it? I mean, Spurs are starting to come back into it now. United had a really good result away at Manchester City. But yeah, nobody seems to be able to put any consistency together. And outside of Liverpool and Leicester City, everybody else is just really hit and miss. I mean, who would have thought that we would be as far ahead of Manchester City as we are already this season? It's amazing. There's no coming back for Manchester City. And I'm going to say that right now. Whatever happens, I'm not saying we're going to go on and win the league. We've got a title race on our hands. Leicester are doing really well. 8 wins on the bounce for them, but there's no way Manchester City are getting back into this. I mean, there's 14 point gap there already, if my memory's right. Is it 14 points? It is 14 points there already. And for them to claw that back, they basically have to win every game between now and the end of the season, and we'd have to drop 14 points, maybe 15, depending on goal difference. Can't see it happening. I really can't. But that's not to say Leicester won't come and push us all the way, and Leicester are doing really well. So, and I'm happy. If I was to be in a title race with any side, I don't mind it being Leicester City. They're a good team with good fans, a good club running the right way, and I've nothing but respect for them. So yeah, may the best side win. Who let the ox out? The Boxing Day game versus Leicester will be the decider. Don't think it will, mate. And here's why: they've got Manchester City the week before. Or earlier on that week. So depending on that game against Manchester City, let's say for instance they were to go and lose to Manchester City, that means if we won that week we'd be 11 away, and then we have the game against them coming up, and if we lost that even it'd be back to 8. So I think the game against City for them will have a good bearing on the title race as well. David Newell said, Craig, if we were granted one guaranteed win and loss over the next 2 games, who would you pick? A win tomorrow or a win against Watford? Tomorrow, mate, because if we don't, guaranteed a win. I mean, we could take a draw tomorrow. Yeah, but you see, you're not giving me the win or loss option here. Is it a straight win or loss, or is there any possibilities of draws? So, if we had to win one, lose one, I would take win tomorrow and lose against Watford, because if we didn't win, if it was win or loss tomorrow and we lost, we're out. It's as simple as that. Dylan said, hope we beat Leicester with the King Power. If we do, we'll win the league. That is going to be a very, very difficult game. I mean, at the best of times, I'm always nervous when we go to the King Power, because Leicester are always up for it. That's going to be a belter of a game. It really is. I think it's an 8:15 p.m. kickoff on Boxing Day. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but fingers crossed. Shay Trainer said, I won't write City off yet. Mate, honestly, they're a pale shadow of themselves. And there's no way. I mean, you can say you won't write them off, fair enough, but we're not going to drop that many points. That they will win every game between now and the end of the season, that we'll drop another 14 points. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm being realistic here. If it was the other way around, there's no way we'd be sitting here saying that we're still in a title race if we were 14 points already behind Manchester City. It's just not going to happen. They might close the gap a little bit, by all means. I mean, they could finish up within 7 or 8 points of us at the end of the season, but nah, I just don't see it. I think for them, the Premier League race is done this season, and they're going to go all out for the Champions League, I think. Whether they can do that or not, I guess time will tell. That's just my honest opinion of it. I'm absolutely not writing Leicester City off. They're there and thereabouts. Even at that, can they continue on their run of games? They've won 8 in a row now. But these are all lovely conversations to have. The fact that we're sitting here in this position, it's nice. It's much nicer than being in any other club shoes right now playing catch up. Would I take Vardy at Liverpool? His age would stop me. Mate, his footballing ability is quality. There's no denying that. The man's a goal scorer, but yeah, his age would stop me. Dylan said, Craig, who's your favourite Liverpool player? Mine is Trent Alexander-Arnold, passing and crossing and lethal. Bobby Firmino, Dylan. I absolutely love Firmino. I love the fact that he works his ass off and allows Mo and Sadio to do what they do, and I just think he's underrated by opposition fans still to this day. UK Beat said, only people join PSG have one interest in farming. I mean, I'll never call the Dutch or the French league a farmers league. I won't go that far. It isn't a great league. I mean, there isn't much quality in there, but yeah, I wouldn't go that far. What will happen if Salzburg beat us? We'll drop into the Europa League, Kirk. Yeah, that's what will happen. We'll end up in the Europa League, and we'll just go ahead and keep doing what we're doing and continue to push on. I mean, we'll get a bit of stick, of course, and I'd expect no less. Craig, you seen the new retro stuff in the LFC Club store? Nope, I haven't had a chance, mate. Honestly, it's been hectic. The kitchen's getting ripped out. We've got tradesmen coming in and out. Yeah, busy time for me at the minute. So I haven't had a chance to look at the club store, but I will when I get a chance. I do love the retro gear. Shay Trainer said Mane's our most important player this season. You're not going to get an argument from me on that one, Shay. I mean, he's been magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. So, lens-based media. Kate a different player to what expected defensively. Looked like he was Michael Essien type player, all powerful. Seems a subtle type of player who pokes, nicks the ball rather than steams in. He is somebody who can play as an 8 or a 10. He's an 8.5 is probably the way I'd describe him. And what you've seen against, what you seen at the weekend was pretty much Naby Keita. He'll go up from that. He still has a couple of levels to go through, but yeah, I mean, it's great that we're starting to see the real Naby Keita. Fingers crossed he can stay injury free as well. Big man Steve said, did you see Gabriel Barbosa say he'd love to play with Firmino? I did. I absolutely did. He's still an Inter Milan player. He's on loan at Flamengo. I don't know what the structure of that deal is. I don't know if there's an option to buy or whatever in it, but I don't know if he's ready for the Premier League just yet. I mean, he's scoring goals and he's doing well. I honestly don't know. I haven't seen enough of him to give you a genuine opinion, but I did see the comment that you're talking about. Craig, you rethinking your opinion on Shaqiri? No, I'm not. I'm delighted he came in and did well, and of course I want Shaqiri to succeed. He's a Liverpool player, but no, I still don't think that he will ever realistically charge for a genuine starting 11 place. I think he's going to be an impact substitute or somebody that we rotate in, and that's all right. That's what we bought him for. But if he can come in and keep to the level that he did recently, then fucking have at it. He was absolutely class. The Club Council said, Craig, do you think we should sign a centre-back in January with the news that John Matip won't be back until the end of January? No, not at all. Why would we go out and buy a centre-back for a month? That doesn't make any sense. Unless, of course, Klopp has a centre-back that he always wanted to bring in and maybe push it forward, but no, I don't see any sense of it. Like, you've got Dejan Lovren, we've got Virgil van Dijk, we've got Joe Matip, albeit maybe not back till the end of January. We have Joe Gomez. We have Fabinho when he comes back, who can drop in and play there if needs be. We have young Nat Phillips, who's out on loan at Stuttgart, and doing reasonably well over there. So I just don't think short-term purchases like that work. It's too reactionary for us, and for somebody to be out for another month, and us to be looking to maybe bring in a player, it just doesn't make any sense to me, because you're not getting them until start of the January window, and even at that, it's probably going to be a week or two in there before any deal is done. So yeah, I would say no. That's my honest answer on it. Craig, is that a new chair? Where's the one with the stars on it? I never had one with stars on it, Willow. This one has the liver bird and my name. It's the only one I've ever had. Craig Shakespeare appointed as the new Watford assistant head coach. Assistant head coach? They're just taking all the former Leicester managers. Fair enough. Leave them to it. Have you ever done the Anfield tour? If not, I would highly recommend it. I haven't done it since the new main stand was done, mate. Because they only tend to go over on match days, and they don't do the tours on match days. They only do the museum tours. So yeah, haven't done it since the new main stand was built. But again, when I did do it, I would recommend anybody to do it. And I'm sure it's only gotten better since the new main stand went in. City losing 25% at the moment. They're not winning the league. Exactly. There's not a fucking chance, mate, that they're catching us. I'm sorry. I know that sounds really cocky, and I'm not saying we're going to win it, but I'm saying there's no way they're winning the league from 14 points back. I'm putting myself out there on that one, but it's genuinely how I feel. Lens-based media said, Craig, I feel your pain. My kitchen living room are totally ripped out, walls knocked out, builders said done before Christmas. Woo! I don't have that much, mate, thankfully. No walls or anything getting knocked down, just just some presses and stuff, but I feel your pain, mate. Christ almighty. I hope they are out before Christmas. Gunjeet said, Craig, what were your thoughts on Ruiz versus Joshua 2? Personally, I found it a bit boring. It's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And I'm not just saying this braggingly. Anybody who knows me, I will have sent them my betting slips from it and the money that I won from that fight. It is exactly what I expected to happen. Joshua to punch the head off him from distance for the whole 12 rounds, and if he got a late stoppage, so be it. Yeah, the bets that I had on were mainly him to win on points or stop him between 9 and 12. It's exactly what I expected, and Joshua did what he needed to do. I mean, it was all about getting the belts back. It didn't have to. He could have stood in there. I'm sure deep down he wanted to stand in there and trade with him because his male ego, his male pride would have wanted him to go in there and stand, but he had a job to do, and Ruiz was his own worst enemy, to be fair. I mean, nobody's begrudging the man partying a bit after winning the world titles. I think any normal, rational human being would probably have enjoyed themselves, but yeah, he seemed to. You could even tell by the way his coach was talking afterwards and stuff. He just didn't seem to have the fire in his belly anymore. He talked a big game. He talked great coming up to it. I think he was trying to kid himself that that extra weight was going to give him extra power, which is just basically an excuse for being lazy. And Anthony Joshua was fully laser focused for this fight. And I have to say, it looked like a magnificent arena. It looked like a magnificent venue. The talk is now that he's going to fight his next fight against Kubrat Pulev, most likely in Spurs' new stadium around March, April time. So that will be interesting if that's to happen. Do you think we'll score, or who do you think will score for us tomorrow? If I was to hand on heart, I would always lean towards Sadio Mane in the Champions League. Subi, he loves a goal in the Champions League, doesn't he? So yeah, I would go. I've got my money on a Van Dijk header, of course, because I think he's 14-1 or something like that on a special. So of course I've done that, but I'd say Sadio if I was to have a guess, mate. There's something else I wanted to go through. Can't remember what it was. UK Beat said, if Leicester somehow win the league, I'll cry every day. Yeah, it will be very difficult, but do you know, if we were to lose out for any reason whatsoever, and of course that would rip our souls out, but for it to be Leicester, I mean, I would much rather lose out to Leicester than a Manchester City or Manchester United or Spurs or an Arsenal. It could be just my own personal opinion on this, but I respect Leicester as a club. Not that I don't respect all the other clubs I've listed, but yeah, it would just be, it would make it a little tiny bit easier, although it would still be soul destroying to not do it from here. And I gotta be honest, I can't see us not doing it from here. Did you hear Villa are interested in Pedro? Said Cormac Slattery. No, I didn't. He's a good, solid player, Pedro. Obviously in the latter stages of his career right now, and Villa have spent a shit ton of money. But they are in a relegation fight, so I can understand why they're trying to bring in experience. What else we got? You're third in the FPL league, said Shanzo. Nice one. I'm 200 and something. I think I'm starting to show my true colours now and how shit I am at FPL. Like I said from the start, am I addicted to betting? No. What the fuck type of compliment or comment is that, mate? No, not at all. I go months at times without making a bet. Nah, far from it. It's just something I do, and I'm quite good at it, to be fair, Alan. Although, you know, no, the bookies always usually win in the long run, so I'm not kidding myself, but no, I'm not addicted to betting, mate. Jesus, that's a horrible thing to say, and there are people out there who do suffer from a betting addiction, and to those people I send love and support. I mean, I don't come on and push betting to people. I don't put up links. I don't talk about betting companies or anything like that, but you know, I do have an L bet every now and again, and I'm gonna chat about it. What have we got? Alfredo said Lineker has us winning the Premier League. Fuck him is my answer to Lineker. He was so far up Messi's hole when we were playing Barcelona at the Champions League semi-finals last year that I honestly couldn't give a fuck what the Walker's eating Pratt has to say. If we were to go through, who would you like to get drawn against? Madrid, Ted. If we were to win the group, Madrid. I think we owe them a beating. Brexit will be bad for Liverpool to buy players from Europe. It won't make any difference whatsoever, Eugene. It will be the same as everybody else. I mean, I can't see it making any difference whatsoever. I mean, it'll probably just depend on whatever way the immigration is done. But I mean, we're far too far away from that. What was your reaction when Karius did a Karius in the Champions League final? Of course, at the time, like everybody else, I was absolutely fuming, Ibrahim. But when you see how hurt he was after the final whistle, and you see that Ramos was a snidey little fucker with the elbow and that as well to his head, I think we've got to give him some leeway, and I don't hold it against him. I said it many times on the stream. I wish Loris Karius the best with his career. He didn't mean to do that. He didn't intentionally do it. He was heartbroken when the final whistle went, and I mean, look, in the moment, I was like everybody else, I was fucking fuming, but I don't have any bad ill feeling towards Loris Karius whatsoever. C. Warner said, "Hi Craig, wish I could be more active, but I will tune in tomorrow for the watch-along. I can't wait to go to the derby in the FA Cup. Enjoy it, mate. Enjoy it. It's going to be a belter. They're going to be really up for that. And hopefully we put them in their place again. But thank you for dropping in again, mate." Sam Thompson says, "Will Klopp put out a good team for the FA Cup?" Yes, it's a derby, mate. I think if it wasn't Everton, he might be tempted to tweak it. Now, we will make changes. He did it in the league game and it worked out well. So I am expecting changes for the FA Cup game, but I think he'll know what it means to the fans. Beating Everton's important. Kane said, "Craig, they might come out to all tomorrow because I do think we will win." Craig, they might come out. I think you're trying to say they might come all out at us tomorrow, Kane. And yes, you're right, they will. Without a shadow of a doubt. They're going to come at us 100 miles an hour tomorrow. And they know what they've got to do. And we know what we've got to do. So it's intriguing. Hopefully the referee is a decent game. And there's no... I never mind whatever happens as long as it's not down to a shitty VAR decision or a bad refereeing decision. If somebody beats us because they're a better team on the night, you'll be pissed off, but you'll say, well done. Brian Morris, he said, "It's done, it's over. The manager and the squad are too good. This is the real deal, not built on sand." I love your confidence, Brian. Well in, mate. Paul said, "If Man City don't win anything this season, do you think Pep will either leave or get sacked?" I wouldn't rule out Pep leaving, but I don't know if it would have any correlation to whether they win anything or not this season. They clearly want the Champions League. That was his briefing when he came into the club, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, they've won league titles, they've done really well. They've been a dominant side domestically in England. We've got to be honest about that. But is he under pressure? I don't know. I've got no idea. He'll be a man who, if he becomes available, there will be clubs tripping over themselves to get him sorted, and he may even have his next move sorted out already. There's been lots of stuff talking about him going back to Barca or Bayern perhaps at some point. What else we got? Scored a goal that was mainly because West Ham backed off. I think that was in relation to Nicolas Pepe. Good finish by Nicolas Pepe, but Arsenal were horrendous. I mean, that was West Ham in the second half were beyond terrible. But look, you got to give Arsenal credit for showing a bit of heart to come back from 1-0 down. Nathan Brooks, how are you, sir? Said Haaland asked to predict the result, and he said a hat-trick and a 3-1 win for them. Confidence or arrogance? Confidence. You got to give it to him. Like, if you're a young footballer like that, you're somebody like him, yeah, I'd say confidence, mate. I would allow him that. If he was my player and he said that, I'd be very happy to see him saying it. So I would say youthful exuberance as well as a bit of confidence, but I wouldn't hold it against him for sure. He's got to say that. He could hardly come out and say 2-2 draw him or out. Like, he's got to go for a win. Young Crisp said, "Craig, would love to see Leeds United back in the Premier League. Do you think they'd give us a game if they came up?" I like you, mate. I would. I've said this a few times on the stream. A few of my uncles are Leeds supporters, and I would like to see them back in the Premier League. If nothing else, just because I know how much them and United hate each other, and I know it would be great for them to have a go at United as well. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Leeds back up. Would they give us a game? Yeah, any team. As I said before, the Premier League, anybody can beat anybody, and I do like Leeds, so I hope they come back up as well. And Bielsa in the Premier League would be interesting. All About Nat said, "I wouldn't be totally heartbroken, but again, I don't want to lose the momentum." Was this in relation to tomorrow? Look, we want to go through. I mean, getting knocked out in the group stages as the defending champions will be a little bit of a letdown. I mean, you kind of want to at least get to the quarterfinals. But yeah, after tomorrow, it's going to be much easier to focus on what we need to focus on, because the Champions League is done then until February. So it's going to be domestic cups and league games from here on out. And yeah, hopefully come the end of December, we're in a really, really strong position. And if we have even an 8-9 point gap, let's say 8 point gap at the end of December, I'm calling it in my head. I got to be honest. If we've an 8 point gap at the end of December, I think it's almost job done. Love to draw City in the Champions League, said Kate. Couldn't happen until at least the quarterfinals, mate. The way things are done, they still have this thing where you can't play another club from your own country until the quarterfinals. Eugene McGeever said, what do you think of the early kickoff 5:55 match against Salzburg? It's just greed from the television companies, mate. That's all it is. They just wanted to have another round of games that they can show on television, make ad revenue for, so the Champions League could sell more games. It's greed. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like a 5:55 kickoff. I mean, 8 o'clock kickoff, Champions League is perfect. So yeah, not a fan of it, but there is only one. Each club gets one group stage game at that time, and this one just happens to be ours, the last game. Did you hear that Craig Shakespeare has been appointed assistant manager of Watford? Yeah, Connor mentioned it earlier on in the stream, and I hadn't heard it until then. Okay, what else have we got? How long left of the stream? About 10 minutes, Subi. Maybe just a little bit less. Have you heard that Rafa might go and get the Everton job? 100% he isn't. 1000% actually. Million%. Whatever you want to say. He was on Monday Night Football earlier on Sky, and he said that he's seen through his contract in China, that he's got a job to do there for the next year and a half, and he's going to see that through before anything else happens. So he definitely isn't going to manage Everton. That much we can say. So whether he comes back at some point down the line, he probably will. He said he likes the Premier League and he wouldn't mind coming back, but he has a job to do in China. He has a good relationship, it seems, with the owners of the club, and they're trying to set up a sustainable youth development system and stuff over there. So I don't think he'll renege on his word. I think he'll see through his contract in China. Dylan said, we've a good chance of beating City at the Etihad this season. I think we will. Hopefully. I mean, yeah, hopefully we do, mate. I just want us to get over the line. I don't care if we fall over the line by 2 points, as long as in May Jordan Henderson is lifting that Premier League title above his head. I'll be a happy man. Brian Morrissey said Leeds should be a Premier League team. No offence to Brighton or Bournemouth, but they're just a placeholder team. Bournemouth have been around quite a while, though, to be fair. They're hanging on in there. I'm still shocked at how small the Vitality Stadium is. 11,000, that is tiny. How haven't they expanded that or even looked into moving to a new stadium? If they've been in the Premier League as long as they have, quite stable as a club, I'm baffled that they haven't extended. Samuel said, I'm a fan of the early games. Now I can watch 2 games. Great for the fans. It is unless you're in work, mate. I mean, if you're a 9 to 5 person and in the UK or anywhere in Europe, say, and you're working, you're probably struggling to get home for the 5:55 one. So wouldn't be. I'm not a fan personally. Dave Sweeney said 5:55 is too early for bevies. It'll be you'll be out swimming with Sinead, so it'll have to be fast in and out. Yeah, straight in, quick dip out. Oh, did you enjoy that swim, Sinead? That was great, wasn't it? But Daddy, we're only just in. Love, come on, time to go home. There you go. Father and 101 for you there. Bournemouth aren't too bad. Brighton aren't too bad, but Bournemouth are finished. I don't know. Bournemouth have basically a whole first team full of injuries, mate. I think when they get their players back, they'll be alright. I think they'll stay up. All about Natal. I think going to their place will be tougher than City away with regards to tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a very difficult game. Really, really is. I don't want anybody to underestimate the fight that we're going to see from Salzburg tomorrow. It's going to be a good game. I'm really looking forward to it. They are moving stadium. There you go. Thank you for. I didn't know that, Aaron, but that makes sense. You went blue when you leaned back. I told you I was having issues with lighting, so there you go. You can see I wasn't fucking about. If you played for Liverpool, we were against Madrid in the last 16 at Anfield. Ramos tried to elbow under the front 3. What would I do? I don't know, mate. We're going past the time where you can get away with a snidey little foul or a little studs down the back of the legs because there was VAR. So you've got to be very, very careful. I'd like to think I'd try and be professional anyway. I'd be having words in his ear and winding him up. That much I can guarantee you. But yeah, with regards to a snidey little foul or something, you've got to be careful. When are we playing, Steve-O? Tomorrow, 5:55, mate, away against Salzburg. Leicester away is the hardest out of the lot, said Sam Thompson. It's a game, mate, that I've said this from the start of the season. I'm always nervous going to the King Power. It's a very, very difficult place to go and get a result for us. And yeah, Boxing Day is going to be interesting. You turned into a smurf. I know, yeah. I did tell you guys I had issues with the lighting today, so you can see I wasn't lying. What's my predictions for the Champions League games? I don't know. I think Ajax will win. Chelsea will win. I think Inter will beat Barcelona. They'll probably have a rest a load of players because Barca are already through. I think we'll get what we need to get through, whether that's a draw or a win. I can't remember what other games are on tomorrow or games of any significance. So, yes, apologies if I've forgotten anything major there. Cop Council, Connor said, if Leicester beat Man City on the 21st, then it's defo a 2-horse race for the title. Yeah, it'd be nice if they had a nice little handy draw there, wouldn't it? That'd do us rather nicely. I think it's not confirmed, mate, but I'm 99% they have future plans to move. It would make sense. I mean, 11,000 with the revenue they'd be bringing in from the Premier League and stuff, and the TV money, I think they could safely afford to. I don't know about building an entire new stadium. I'm not sure. I won't lie and say that I know exactly where the stadium's located or anything, and if it's feasible, but they should be looking to do something. Steve-O said, good YouTuber, hope you get to 30,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, mate. We hope so as well. Hope to be there by the end of the year, fingers crossed. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, it was a quick one tonight. As I said, game tomorrow starting at 5:55. We should be streaming from about 5:30. As always, we don't do schedules for Watchalong, so make sure you've got those notifications turned on. Hit that subscribe button, give the stream a thumbs up, and if you're watching this on playback later on, please do let us know your thoughts. As I said, I'll be here tomorrow from 5:30, and we'll be covering the Watford game at the weekend as well. So enjoy your Tuesdays, ladies and gentlemen. I hope to see you all tomorrow, and up the motherfucking Reds.